Grand Gedeh.
Welcome to Groove 106 FM. My name is Gibson. A little bit late, but better. Yes, we'll be going live in Grand Gedeh in a little bit. In the meantime, let me just play you one song, and then we'll be ready to get started. Hold on right there. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back with you. Okay. This song is coming from. Okay. Let's do this song here. It's a gospel, but I just want to do something much more. All right.
Yeah. Unega above. Ayo. Chiso. Money finito. Money finit go away. Your 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 money finit go away. Oh yeah. Mumbayo. Munjayo. Baba la mufanya. La guerrero. Baba la mufanya. La rapeo. Yamola mufanya. La guerrero. Yamola mufanya. La rapeo. The Baba people coming. Will catch you. Baba people coming. Will catch you. Nobody like you, like I do. Nobody like you, like I do. Better days ahead, you will enjoy. Better days ahead, you will enjoy. I'm a prover, find a prover. Come a prover, from a prover. Find a prover, find a prover. Money finit go away. Your 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 money finit go away. Munjayo. Baba la mufanya. La guerrero. Baba la mufanya. La rapeo. Yamola mufanya. La guerrero. Yamola mufanya. La rapeo. The Baba people coming. Will catch you. Baba people coming. See. Will catch you. I love you, love fish, that water. Sometimes I like a pump water. Then you're in a alleyway. Don't be talking by your friend. Just pulling at you. You do your own no talking. I do my own talking. I'm gonna live in your soul. I'm gonna let my people live in your soul. Talking. go away. Your money finna go away. Your money finna go away. Abala mufoya, la Gongloe, abala mufoya, la rapeo, yamola, yamola mufoya, la rapeo. The Baba people coming, they will catch you. Baba people coming, they will catch you. Hello, my people, amigo, I people who let me, who let you. Shout out to my fans. Oh.
Okay, thank you very much. And we will be going right straight on to Grand Gedeh County, where we will be going live today. Let me see if I can connect Grand Gedeh right now. Okay, so we're going to be connecting Grand Gedeh, making sure that we live in Grand Gedeh. But today, I want
yes, you are not live. It's going to Grand Gedeh County.
Thank you very much. Okay, that's my man Abraham Cooper right there in Grand Gedeh County. And those of you who are in Grand Gedeh, thank you very much for listening to us. And trust me, we want you to make it your business to be here every Friday and Saturday, 10 o'clock, because we will be discussing issues that concern us as Grand Gedeh and also as a national concern. So today we're going to be discussing, we have several things to discuss today. One of them is, first of all, the Gongloe Global Movement, which I chair the media committee. We are demanding, calling on the president. We are demanding that the president, George Weah, dismiss those sanction officials, because it is so bad that up to now the president does not have the political will to muster the political will to dismiss these people. These people are embarrassment to our country. This is the first major government ministers, and not talking about the Senator Sherman, Fanny Sherman, and the pro tem who were sanctioned by the U.S. government. Beside those two, we have not seen people in the executive being sanctioned. And the fact that the U.S. government was able to sanction these three people. But let's look at these people in a little bit. We're talking about McGill. First of all, McGill is the boogeyman for George Weah. He is the one that decides whether you see George Weah or you don't see George Weah. He decides whether George Weah will talk to you or George Weah will not talk to you. He is the chief of staff. He is the minister of state. In fact, so you see the guy, he has two positions that makes it very difficult for you to go around him. The man is the minister of state. He is the one that pays the president's salary. The ministry of the state is the one that pays the president, belong to the ministry of state. So those of you who don't know, I'm telling you now, those of you who don't know that the Ministry of State is the governing ministry for the presidency. So what happens is that the Ministry of State is the one that prepares the president's salary and pay the president's salary, wherever in the bank or wherever the way they can pay the salary. That's the Ministry of State that does that. Magay is the minister for that Ministry of State. He was the minister. So he was the one that decides what benefits and salary remunerations that are supposed to go to the president. Then at the same time, he is a chief of staff. Other presidents have chosen different chief of staff and divorced themselves from the minister of state. In the past, there are other people who are chief of staff and they have minister of state different from the chief of staff. Okay, but in this case, Magay is and at the same time minister of state. So there's no way you can go around him. He everything that President George Weah does, everything that Magay does, to a large extent, George Weah is aware, and whatever George Weah does, Magay is aware. But what is even interesting is, I mean, if the U.S. government can come that close, that very, very close to George Weah's doorstep, I have the feeling it is uneasy. It is an uneasy feeling that George Weah might be lucky they didn't name him. Because if they say Magay is taking money from investors and giving a contract, do you really believe that Magay would take money from those contractors, those concessionaires? You think he would take those businesses that are coming that he take kickback from? You think that he alone can eat that money? I mean, do you really believe that George Weah has no part to play in it? Because what Magay does is he is fronting for George Weah. That's all he does. So everything that since Magay is the corrupt person in George Weah's office, I can tell you 100% that George Weah is the most corrupt person in the Republic of Liberia. George Weah is probably corrupt 3 times more than Ellen Johnson is corrupt. And he's so corrupt that he can't talk because he won't answer nobody's question. He don't talk to the media. He don't respond to anybody. Therefore, he doesn't have any responsibility to respond to questions. How he built his 47 units, 10 stories each in 6 months. Where does George Weah get money from? He doesn't have money. He didn't have money at the time he was senator to build all those units. And just when he became president, those units were just built all of a sudden. And he not only that, he went to 9th Street, where he has his house, and he turned the 9th Street house that he built with $50,000. He changed it to a multi-millionaire $1 million house. That's exactly what George Weah did. Though, when we're talking about corrupt people in Liberia, Magay and Nim just spoil. Magay and Nim is just spoiling, but George Weah is the most corrupt person that we can ever think of. I'm praying so hard. I don't know if it will happen in my lifetime that the U.S. government will sanction George Weah. Because when they sanction George Weah, it will not be easy. So let's see Magay's position with George Weah, his proximity with George Weah. It is, let me see. Okay, all right, I got it. So George Weah is the most corrupt person that I know in the Republic. In fact, he's 3 times more corrupt than Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. If you think Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was corrupt, George Weah is the king. That boy, he eats so much that he can't talk. They posted he bobo. I say so. I just quoting them. I don't like to call him bobo, But all the people say he's a bobo. I just quoting, and don't say that Gibson says so. So it is unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate that we have it. So why is it that George Weah, President Weah, is still keeping these people? Why is it difficult to dismiss them? Why still have them in suspension mode? So you suspend these people, you are incapable of dismissing them. And Magay is still enjoying state power because Magay still have EPS. I don't know, they said they wanted to withdraw it. I don't know if they withdrew it now. But Magay was still, when he went to Banga the other day, he still had EPS protection. He still had EPS protection. So I don't know how so we, as from the global Gongloe movement, we are requesting, we are demanding that the president dismiss these people. Serena Cephas, accused of compromising government cases, working with criminals to dismiss their cases, and participating in protecting money launderers. Bill Twari, the man from way down the line, now he is sharing $1 million to people. I mean, how can our country develop? He doesn't even care about authority. He doesn't think about how to improve the port. People are still crying. You take your container from here and go to Liberia. Within, I think they gave 3 days now, grace period. And if you don't pay or release your container, they begin to put $50 every day. $50. By the time you look, your container is in huge storage. When you can't pay, then some of them, they pass behind their friend and come and buy some of your cars cheap so that you'll be able to pay, release your container. They need to improve that port. Now, he couldn't improve it, but he's getting millions of dollars. Forming companies, and the companies are giving contracts at the Buchanan port when in fact it should go through building process. They don't do all of those because they feel that they have the proximity of the president. So they don't care. The president will not do anything. Some of the chopping they bring, they get the president on the chopping too. He been eating until he reached the elbow. The only thing I know whether he will pass by an elbow and go to his shoulder. That's the only thing I'm looking at now. But the man is eating, just licking him. He licking until he now reach the elbow. Now the poor finish grabbing they came right to a toe, a big toe, and knock somebody from there. Just imagine. So George Weah, you are a lucky man. And I will be thinking, I'm thinking about even petitioning the U.S. Department of Treasury to look closely into George Weah. Maybe in the next few days, I will write my letter to the U.S. Treasury and asking them to look closely at George Weah. Because George Weah is not free from these corrupt acts. I don't think this corruption began and ended with Magay, Serena Seaforth, and Bill Twary. I don't think it ended with them. It is a scheme, a big scheme. It is a huge play that all of them are indulged into. They enjoy it. It's like everybody having their feast. It's a feast on national coffers. They take the money and enjoy themselves, get rich, while the poor get poorer. And this is why the Global Gongloe Movement is demanding that the president dismiss these 3 people. I think we are giving enough time. We're giving enough time to the president to think about whether he's going to dismiss them or not. These people cannot stay because they're still receiving their salary. The president did not say they will not receive their salary. They are suspended, but they will still be paid with government money, which is terrible. Still pay the people. They're still enjoying government benefits. Some of them still got government cars, using government security, getting salary, and you say the man is suspended, even though this is a disgrace to the nation. And because this is a disgrace, we need somebody in that office. That office they call the Presidency. We need someone who has the guts, who has the ability to say no to officials who will be around him and stealing. And that brings me to the name of the person I want to introduce today again. I'll continue to talk about this. First of all, I want to talk about the 10 points today. What makes Gongloe better than the other politicians? Why is it that the next topic we're going to discuss before we go to Grand Gedeh later? What makes Tiawan Gongloe better than the other politicians? I'll tell you right now, without any disrespect to anybody. I will discuss it as respectfully as I can. So let's look at the other people we are talking about. We have 3 people that want to be president. That's Bernard Ure, that's Joseph N. Boakai, that's Cummings. Those people want to also be president of Liberia. So the question is, why is it that the people should forget about Joseph Boakai? They should go ahead and vote Tiawan Gongloe. Why should they forget Alexander Cummings and vote for Tiawan Gongloe? Why should they forget about Bernard Ure and vote for Tiawan Gongloe? Let's start with Bernard Ure. Anybody who casts your vote for Bernard Ure, you are in condoning the evil this man made out against the nation. This man stole from the country so much that he became rich on our back. He cannot. He is not fit to be president. Put Benana Ure and see what corruption means. You can't. And that's why it is difficult for people like us to even hear people like Benana Ure name coming up in any election matter. After all of what he had done, stolen enough from the country, and he got rich overnight, then he lied and said when he was Commissioner of Maritime Affairs, he was being paid $400 Liberian. Why you insult the intelligence of Liberians? Is that the kind of man you want to make president? This man is not fit to be our president. Disregard everything else. This man he's everything bad for the presidency of Liberia. And I know Liberian people cannot even vote for him. So all he does is to stick himself on Joseph Boakai because he won when Joseph Boakai becomes president. Then Joseph Boakai was saying back to the maritime affairs because that when he was born, that I played the bond, they say he must work entire all his life. That played the bury his naval stream at the maritime affairs. By the time Joseph Boakai win, the first thing Bernard you will be clamoring for because you will be one of the kingmakers. You will be the one that will be sponsoring the campaign for Boakai. He will be spending money for VP Boakai to win. And as soon VP Boakai wins, Bernard you will go to a place where he bury his naval stream. Won't be a maritime commissioner. Just to say maritime commissioner or made for him. You don't discuss it. You don't discuss another position you want to go to maritime affairs. When Boakai win, we can reform the maritime affairs. Who are you to reform something you stole from there? So for any of you who are even thinking about Joseph Boakai, I mean not Joseph Boakai, but Benana Ure, it will be a second day for me, and the country will be bleeding with tears, bloody tears, because the man is not fit for our country. Then it brings me to the next person, Alexander Cummings. Alexander Cummings is the embodiment of bad decision making. This man lacks I want to be more respectful, right? I want to be respectful while I'm talking about them. Alexander Cummings, I thought he was smarter than the rest. But the man decisions are very, very flawed. They are very bad. Every time he makes a decision is bad. How can you, Alexander Cummings, how can you go to Musa Belete and even think of making him either vice president or even dealing with him when in fact the Liberty Party is divided? If you look at the Liberty Party, it is true that Musa Belete controls the office, he controls some executives, and he has the money to do all of that. But the heartbeat of Liberty Party, which is in the Bassa Belt, he doesn't control that. Well, he will bring few Mandingo votes because Mandingo people cannot make anybody president in Liberia. They are just the Crown people. They can't make anybody president. They can add their vote to anybody, but they don't make anybody president. Crown people don't make anybody president. They just add their vote up. And that all of vote there that we're going to be taking away and giving it to Gongloe this year. This next year. George, you're not getting that vote. The way you were getting that vote before, you're not going to get it anymore. He's going to sweat to get 2 votes from that. He will sweat for it. But I come back to Cummings. Every time Cummings made a decision, it's so bad. Look, Cummings was aligning himself with Yeke Koluba, a foul-mouthed, dementedly cocky individual. The man who lacks the moral for anybody. Look, if I were in Cummings' orbit, I would be one of the people and tell Cummings, don't ever go close to Yeke Koluba. I know Cummings is looking for belonging. He's looking for constituencies. So Yeke Koluba is in the Cinco area, the Oro area, and the place is populated. Maybe if Yeke Koluba and I are together, then the people that are supporting in the Cinco area will support me. I could be able to win district number 10. That's the calculation. But what happened now? Yeke Kolba has already left him and gone back to Joseph Boakai. Because these people, they are frail-minded. They do not have what it takes to be leaders of our country. And my second choice was Alexander Cummings. As it is, I'm thinking now, how can I make him second choice? Look at what he has done in a few days. How can you enter a CPP arrangement with only Liberty Party and Bility? How can you do that? So, and the other thing I always say, when I always broadcast, some of you who are in the ANC belt, you always heard me, and I was saying it out of real good faith, that Alexander Cummings was swimming with dangerous sharks. I said Alexander Cummings long time. I've been calling on Alexander Cummings to withdraw himself from the CPP, the Crazy People Party. Remove yourself from the CPP, the Crazy People Party. Remove yourself. I told Alexander Cummings long time. You see what they did? Right now, if Alexander Cummings is the runner-up candidate against George Weah, he can't win. George Weah is going to beat him. You know why? Because VP Boakai will not tell the United Party people to go and vote for him. He will tell the United Party people, well, you can vote for anybody you want. And as a result, those people who wanted to leave George Weah and vote for opposition, they will go back to George Weah because Alexander Cummings, he has a bad blood with the Unity Party and the Benana Ureun Crazy Party. They have bad blood with all of these people. So they cannot support him. So going against George Weah in the runner-up is just giving George Weah another 6 years. I mean, we are confirming that George Weah should take 12 years. So it's just bad. There's bad blood between them. So it'll be like, oh, as soon as he gets the runner-up, I can see United Party VP Boakai will say, look, we believe the party, we do not own our members, but if you want to vote for anybody, you can go ahead and make your independent choice. Vote for the best person you want to be a president of Liberia. And that's it. The same thing Cummings did after the 2017 election. Cummings said all of the political parties were flawed and they were the real problem of our country. So as a result, he told the ANC that he cannot tell the ANC who to vote for. ANC, you can decide to vote for anybody you want to vote for. They will do the same thing to him. They will pay him back if he becomes a runner-up candidate against George Weah. And that means we are actually confirming that George Weah should get 12 years again. Get another 6 years and make it 12 years. And none of you want 12 years for George Weah because it's painful. The first 6 years is becoming too painful for us to give him another 6 years. Some of you will get dry and die in the street when George Weah takes another 6 years. Because you can't stand it. And I can't stand it. How can George Weah take another 6 years? How? How can we allow this man to take another 6 years? The man first 6 years, the man finished buying 40, the man finished building 47 units, 10 story. In 6 months, when he took power, he finished building them using millions of Liberian dollars, of Liberian people money. So if you think you put George Weah there, the man was not afraid to steal while he still need another election coming, while he knew there's another election coming, and he was brave to steal and build 47 units, 10 stories. You think when you vote him, he will even think about you? George Weah will wreck that country. And you know what the Liberian law says? The Liberian Constitution says, if the president does anything while he was president, if he leaves power, the government of Liberia cannot prosecute him for anything that he did during his presidency. So because the people know that they will not be prosecuted, they know that nobody will go after them, therefore they continue to steal and steal and steal. And they say that guy they call Bobo. Now me, I'm cutting people. I'm not saying George Weah is Bobo, but they say he Bobo. The Bobo, the man who they say he Bobo, is the man who was stealing He already built 47 units, changed his 9th Street to a multi-million dollars structure. And you think when you put him there, he will be scared? That one, he got nothing to be afraid of. The man had election coming. He had election coming. And he was brave to steal like that. So when there's no election in front of him, what do you think he will do? The man will eat until he by your elbow. And so when you put Alexander Cummings against George Weah, get his 12 years. Alexander Cummings will not beat George Weah. He will not beat George Weah. That's why we are telling you, when the person who had no issue with people, when Terrell Gongloe gets in that position, and I'm telling you, because of the quality of character that he has, the quality of character that he has, the impeccability of Terrell Gongloe. This man is an impeccable, a sophisticated, quality human being. Unlike any of your candidates. Name one candidate and tell me who you can compare to Terrell Gongloe. But we'll come back to Terrell Gongloe, but let's go to Joseph Boakai. If you think Joseph Boakai is going to beat George Weah, you'll be dreaming. You'll be dreaming. And in fact, it is worse if he beats George Weah. I'll tell you right now. I have nothing against Joseph Boakai. I have nothing against Cummings. But these people destroy themselves with the Liberian people. The formation of the CPP was a blessing to the Liberian people to kick George Weah out of office and let him go and sit in and live in 47 units. It was a glorious opportunity. Everybody praised it, except me, who told Cummings to leave the CPP because I knew that there was a lot of dangerous sharks in the CPP. So Joseph Boakai, in entering into the CPP, and the way the CPP are going, if they are continue on our trajectory, and they were going nicely, and they were doing things, and they were coordinating, and they were buying the Liberian people's love, and they were winning the Liberian people's love and admiration, definitely George Weah will be in your house worried. But look at what they have done to themselves. Let me ask you something. Don't you think the election in Lofa defined Joseph Boakai? It defined him. Listen, in the main backyard, look, I'll come back to the national part, but in the main backyard, in Lofa County, it's like to say when I go to Blomtown, when I go to Blomtown, then they say Gibson Jeru is going against Bomi Agbogbo from the other town. Then Bomi Agbogbo come in my town and win me in Blomtown. Are you kidding me? They even Lofa. The most disgracing part is the VP and the Unity Party could not even raise money to put pool watchers in some areas. How big is Lofa? If VP Boakai could not find money to put pool watchers in some part of Lofa County, how can he get money to put pool watchers in other part of the Liberia? Why don't you read the writings on the wall? It's so bright and shiny. And say, Joseph Boakai cannot be president. It's writing right on your wall, and you say, and you read it backwards. Boakai can be president. Anybody who read things backward will reap the punishment of your reading backwards. Read forward. Please read forward. Joseph Boakai cannot be president. Read forward. And another thing, if you put just in case, if Joseph Boakai become president, he is not going to run the country. If you think Magay is corrupt, if you think Magay is so powerful, if you think Magay is so controlling, if you think Magay is the one that run the country, put Joseph Boakai and see what Gafon going to do for you. Put Joseph Boakai and see how these boys around Joseph Boakai are going to run this state for you. Because, oh man, we just go to bed. They might be to a hospital while they're in the office working. And they just bring the document to him. Papa San. In fact, I don't know why he can still see it. Papa San, where am I saying? They just probably read it. They just put a pen there, just signed. The heart and this country will be sold to the wicked souls. Those souls of those evil geniuses who continue to lick the marrow of Liberia's bone. They will continue to eat and devour the very good of our nation. And that because Joseph Boakai will be unable to know what he is doing. He's too old. He's too old. I'm so sorry that you guys are still thinking about him. When you ain't want to know your blood. So what a new. So the other day the woman say, I was like an old dump truck parked in the garage. Are you kidding? Who parked you? Did you park yourself willingly or somebody park you? Because early they didn't park you, you park yourself. I was like an old car parking in the garage. Who parked you there? You yourself walk in the garage and park yourself and throw the key away. Then you say you were parking in the garage. You said on Costard, the woman said on Costard radio and said, Ellen used to listen to me. There's nothing between Ellen and myself. 99% of the time, I made suggestions and she listened. But when he wanted to be president, he decided to backstab Ellen. That's why Ellen backstabbed him too. Ellen too, you know the politics, you know that old man too, you know the Didiba. So he's trying to stab Ellen in the back. Ellen stabbed you in the back. And Ellen gave the presidency to George Weah. They said the man Gbogbo. Now let me say so. They are just quoting the people. They get the presidency to the Gbogbo. The guy that said he Gbogbo. Can't talk. Something happened, he sit down. Just close him up. So if you look at Joseph Boakai, if Joseph Boakai is going for a runner-up, do you think Cummings will put a weight behind him? No, be realistic. Do you really believe that if Joseph Boakai wins the runner-up, he becomes a candidate for the runner-up for the opposition against George Weah? Do you really believe what he did to Cummings? You think Cummings can tell the people from ANC and say, y'all go and vote for Joseph Boakai? You think he will do that? It means George Weah is president again. It's hurting me when I'm saying this. I want to cry because you people will make George Weah president again. Y'all shouldn't do that. Y'all deny the man of the other 6 years. So other people who are Gbogbo, people who can steal government money when they see that Liberian people can take action against them, then they will stop what they are doing. That brings me into Tiawan say Gongloe. Tiawan say Gongloe. How many of you know this guy? How many of you? Some of you, you don't know the man because you sit in your house, you don't read newspaper, you don't listen to news, you don't go to school, you just sit down to the house. Some of your women are supporting you, you can't get outside. So you're just sitting down to the house. That's why you don't know the man. But if you can read newspaper, you will know about him. If you can listen to radio station, you will know about him. If you go into school, you will know about him. If you are someone who is working, you will know about him. But if you somebody who like George Weah, you will not know about him. I won't say Gongloe. It's the man with the impeccable character. The man with the impeccable character. The man who is clean, that none of his opponent, none of his opponent can talk about his corruption. Can you imagine nobody in the country, the man wants to be president and nobody in the country can raise their finger and say, yeah, I know you corrupt. They can't say so. I will tell you what makes the man thick. What makes him the most preferred candidate. Number one, Tiawan Gongloe has the legal education to discern what is legally wrong and what is legally right. Therefore, in his 10 points, when he becomes president, in the first 100 days, this is what he decided he would do. Point number one, there will be zero tolerance for corruption under a Gongloe-led government. Within the first 100 days, a thorough review of all audit reports done by the GSC will be carried out. That review will determine prosecution and make recommendations on those that may be statute barred. The administration will commission routine audits, including lifestyle audits, and all public servants. Now, you don't understand everything, so I will break it down for you. The man said, in simple English, for those of you in Grand Gedeh Live where you're hearing me, in simple English, Gongloe said when he became president, anyone who corrupt, you will face the law, will prosecute you. The GAC, there's something to call the General Auditing Commission. It's a government office that's responsible to look at government money, how it's spent. They have done some audits. They have been checking all the ministries since early Johnson Sirleaf time. And those audit reports are laying down there. George Weah was supposed to take them and implement them. He refused to do that because he himself was coming to steal too, so he refused to prosecute people who are stealing. Those audit reports, they will be in the first 100 days. Councillor Gongloe is going to authorize the Minister of Justice to go after all those who were named in audit reports that say you stole, you misapplied government fund from here, they gave you the money, you buy a different thing. They will prosecute them. In the first 100 days, the Minister of Justice will be working on that immediately. The review will take place, and it will be determined who can we send to court here, who can we free, who cannot take office anymore. We'll go through all the review. But that's not only that. The good part I like about it, he said, there will be a routine audit, including lifestyle. You saw Eugene the other day. The man, he go eat and put it on social media. And you see the chicken thigh there. Some of y'all not eat chicken thigh before. Y'all hungry the head, and then go show the chicken thigh. The salad here, chicken thigh here, the fish here, the jollof rice here. The man alone is sitting there right in front of him, eating and put it on Facebook. Those kind of lifestyle, you cannot do it in the Gongloe government. You cannot fly first class when the government sends you, instead of you flying or economic class, then you go first class because you feel that you are minister. Like where the other finance minister, he probably when you go anywhere, you can go fly first class. Then when they ask you, the way you can say that in the first class, you can see investor. How many of you in the plane, you've been flying, you can talk in the plane? You're sitting there, how many of you can talk? And I fly plenty of time. Even I fly, one time, I know people made mistake or what, they go take my knee, they say I go first class. I'm going to enjoy myself that day. They both came, they brought his only Gibson Giroux. I said, yes, I'm here. I said, okay, you should be in the first class. I said, what? He said, yes. I said, oh, okay. When I took my first class, I played to enjoy myself in the first class because in the first class, you can decide what you want to eat. When they bring the other one, I said, no, I don't want this one. I want the other one. So I got to choose my own food. Just imagine, in the first class, while plane flying, you can't talk. They say, that's the time you can be investor. So every time they fly first class, that's why Councillor Gongloe says, in the first 100 days, there will be a routine audit beginning the first 100 days. There will be a routine audit of lifestyle. The way you behave yourself while you are on the job. You're driving among people, you passing the post sitting down, there's water in there, your tire passing the gutter and flash the water on the people, and you don't even care to stand to say sorry to the people because you minister, because you senator, because you representative. Those kind of attitude, if you do that, you can be prosecuted. There will be laws, and thank God the man we're talking about is a lawyer. So there will be laws carved to look at the way people behave, the way you use power. The way you use power, they can be legislated. You cannot do that. In America, those of you living in America, the governor, I don't know what president said, the governor of your state, you see the man can't tire flash water on you, think the man will go. You crazy? You're not crazy to go. He will stop and come and say sorry to you. You see some minister there, because the minister, when the police arrest somebody, then they go there and they stab the police. And that is number 2. In the first 100 days, Councillor Gongloe says we will ensure absolute non-interference with the function of judiciary and the police. There'll be that the way Joy Weah when the case in the court, then they go in the court and do macro so they can win. No. Our government, our president, when he is inaugurated, the first 100 days, he is going to pass an executive order to make sure that nobody interferes, no government official interferes with the work of the judiciary. Nobody interfere with the police. If you interfere, how many of you in America, do you think the governor can come when the police arrest you? The governor can come and tell you to, hey, just leave him. He's my little sister. He's my little brother. Can any governor do it in America yet? But when they do it in America, in Liberia, and we're telling the people they will keep them there. Disrespect for law and order. Disrespect for the justice system. Disrespect for the judiciary. Disrespect for police. This is what we're trying to get rid of. That is why Councillor Gongloe is more important for this election than any other person. Not only that. That's something I want to tell you about. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. When Councillor Gongloe, I'm saying it, don't tell anybody. This is a secret. If Councillor Gongloe becomes president, that clause in the Constitution that says if the president does wrong, he cannot be prosecuted after he leaves office, he is going to call for an amendment to remove it from the Constitution. Don't tell anybody before they disturb you. That is something that we all need to pray for. The president, when you go to office and you misbehave, after your term, the Liberian Lord will say, prosecute the man. That the only way when people go to power, they will behave themselves. That's the first thing our president want to do. President Gongloe is going to make sure that if you are president and you misbehave, you steal government money, you do all kinds of things, take people's property and call it your own. The government says, the law will say that if you leave power, they will come after you and prosecute you. As it is, there's nothing we can do to George Weah. If you leave power, all the money is still going in vain. All that for the 7 houses he built, they'll 10 story for the 7. They are for him. Nothing we can do about it. But Congress said if he becomes president, he will change that. He will make sure that he sent a law. He amend the Constitution. Because the legislature cannot do it. But he will amend the Constitution. He will appeal to the Liberian people to allow the Constitution to be amended so we can remove that thing from there. That says when you're president, you do bad thing. When you get out of your job, we'll not come behind you for you to answer for your bad thing. No, we'll remove it from there and put in there and say, if you are president and you kill somebody while you are president, when you leave office, we'll come after you to prosecute you for the killing you did. Don't you think it's something you can embrace? How many President Kennedy have ever said this? None. That's a secret. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. The next thing I want to tell you about Councillor Gongloe, this man is at peace with everyone. So the day he go runner up with George Weah, it will not be hard for Cummings to say, oh, ANC, we want you to marshal yourself behind Councillor Gongloe for president. You can go and vote for him, and he will be glad to say so because the Alexander Cummings and the ANC people, they know Councillor Gongloe. He's a peaceful man. He's a man who does not know the difference between tribes, whether you Gio, whether you Mano, whether you Kran, whether you Bassa, whether you Loma, whether you Pele, whether you Bay, whether you anything Mandingo. He cares. He defends everybody in a whole life. That's what he does. You think I'm lying? What Akara great tribe? And a grow man. The men are defending before. You're not taking from jail. Why Moluba Molu tribe? And a money man. You're not taking from jail before. Why Javasen Koji tribe? And a Gisi man. I don't know Bani or Gisi. He taken from jail before. What's a Tima tribe? And a crew man. You're not fight for him before. So he fight what Bobby Townsend tribe. They let Bobby Townsend, crewman. He trained from what Admiral Douglas tribe, fireman. He trained men from. So the men have been fighting people, fighting for people. If you cry, what about those crown people? That one we'll talk about that in Grand Gedeh talk. When we get to Grand Gedeh talk, we'll talk about that. Those boys that Councillor Gongloe represented, he could have said, no, I'm a man of man. Why would I want to go and defend crown people? The way I call all the lawyers, then they refuse to help us. When I was calling those who are in the Grand Gedeh Association, the concerned Grand Gedeh Association, call them. James, all the boys, call them. They will tell you. All the boys that are in the Grand Gedeh, the concerned Grand Gedeh Association, we call everywhere. No lawyer want to represent the crown people because crown people deserve to be in jail. They call themselves human rights lawyers. Some of them call themselves criminal lawyers. We call them and say, please represent. Say, no, I'm too full. I got a lot of things. I'll be unable to take that case. Only one call to Councillor Gongloe. One single call I made to Councillor Gongloe. One single call. And he was ready to hop on from Grand Gedeh. He didn't say because I'm man and people are crown people, I will not defend them. That is what we talk about when we say the man is blind to tribe. The man is blind to tribe. Some of you don't know, and this is the reason why he will be president for all. So if he goes against George Weah in the runner-up, George Weah is retired. George Weah is retired because Joseph Boyka will be free to tell the Unity Party people, say, I want all of you to go beyond Councillor Gongloe because they know he's clean, they know he's astute, they know he's impeccable, they know he's credible, they know he has integrity, they know he has a political will to make decisions. So they will not be afraid. But tell Cummings to go there now. Joseph Boyka will not do it. We get Vel Cummings and say, all United Party people, anyone you want for, you can vote for the president. That's how we want to do it before we move George Weah from that. We can move George Weah from that. We'll start telling all the people, say, hey, y'all want to vote for anybody else can vote for them. That's what Joseph Boyka will say. And you put Joseph Boyka there, that's the same thing Cummings will do. So the only way we can get George Weah out is to put Councillor Gongloe. Then Cummings will come beyond Gongloe. Then Joseph Boyka will come beyond Gongloe. Then all of men who they call all the other opposition political party, I won't call it name. All of God there. They call it, I know it needs style of you. I won't call it name. Then you will come too. Then everybody will come together, and then George Weah will be retired. And how is he going to be retired? Because Gongloe got the numbers. Let me tell you the numbers. Let me tell you the numbers of Councillor Gongloe. I got my last sheet here. I got my last sheet where I can be writing my number and all. So I can't make a mistake. First number. Nima County. Because me a crown man, I'm not come from Nima. That's why I give you that number. But if I come to other people that come from Nima, they both got their own number. Nima County, 65%. You know why 65%? I'm very generous. I don't want to ruffle feathers. I will see Prince Johnson will be in the forefront of campaign for us. I will see all the representatives and senators will be in the forefront of campaign for us. Let me tell you the reason why. Prince Johnson is calling himself Godfather, right? What kind of father who will be in the town and your son is doing something good and you move yourself beyond the son? He will not do it. Prince Johnson will not tell Nimbayans to go for George Weah. That will be the first time Prince Johnson will not go beyond George Weah. That will be the first. But the day you put Joseph Boyka, Prince Johnson taking Nima and giving it to George Weah. If you think I lie, put Joseph Boyka and see. Put Alexander Cummings and see. The day Alexander Cummings go against George Weah in the runner-up, Prince Johnson will tell Nima people, you let go to George Weah, and George Weah will win. Joseph Boyka is runner-up with George Weah. Prince Johnson will tell the Nima people, you let go to George Weah, and George Weah will win. But if Gongloe is there, Prince Johnson will tell you that carry our son, and our son will win, and George Weah will be retired. And he must pray that our Lord change. We're prosecuting for some of the things he does. Let's go to Bon County. Same Gongloe's mother from Bon County. Bon County is now easy fight. It's a tough fight. Because we got Joel Howard Taylor there, who I come from the grave and started campaigning the few days again. and start talking about George Weah because she was in the grade first. Say Maggie going under water, so she pour her head over water. So we don't mind that all of my part, she didn't know what she want. Because even when they treat her like she know ballet, when someone away, she can come and can't talk about the pool again. So since she not come for under water, she will be fighting for George Weah. But we will get small thing there. So we are looking at 25% in Bond County. Then we look at Grand Gedeh. And my man Bennett Baffer is right here. I will call him next week. Next week, Friday and Saturday, Bennett Baffer and myself will be here. I will invite him. Bennett Baffer, Cllr, and all the big boys from Grand Gedeh. We are all going down to campaign in Grand Gedeh. We're not staying in America here. So those of you in Grand Gedeh, you'll sit down there and say they will be in America and just talk. No, me, Cllr, and all the boys, Bennett Baffer, all of us, we are coming down to come and campaign for Gongloe in Grand Gedeh County. So we'll look at Grand Gedeh, St. George, he put in our county, and he put this thing there, we'll take at least 35%. So we'll get 35% from Grand Gedeh. Now, 65, 25, 35. That comes to Moserado County. Gongloe is most popular in Moserado than anybody over there because the student community knows him. It's a academy. How to do human rights, how to respect human rights. They are all there. The university student that he's teaching, the law student that he's teaching, they are all there. The student community, when they go to jail, when you go and represent them and free them, they are there. The journalists, then they are there. Everybody in Morovia, some kind of way know Councilor Gongloe. So because they respect him and they know him, we are taking 40% from there. Now, let's go to Grand Bassa County. Grand Bassa is not an easy fight because if Nyombli Kaka and Joe Bwaka go there, the first round will not get much there. So we're not talking about that, but we're talking about the runner-up. Because Nyombli Kaka will definitely come beyond Gongloe in the runner-up. But because it's tough in Grand Bassa, so we'll take something from that. We'll take only 20% from that. Now, let's come back here and come to the eastern side. I mean the western side. Bomio, Kema, we put all of them together. Lofa Pa, I don't think they will see our face and laugh too much. So Lofa, Bommi, all the poor Bapolo there, we look at them, we take all of them and say we're taking 15% from there. Now, if you look at that, this mathematics, we are going for runner-up. This mathematics take off for runner-up. Because it would take small here, take small here, take small here. The way Joy Weah used to take heavy, you're not taking heavy anymore. So Nima people say there will be 90%. I don't want to go to 90%. I'm very generous. I'm a generous guy. So we are taking 65%, and then we take 25% from Bon, take 35% from Grand Gedeh, take 40% from Moserado, and take 20% from all the other Nyama places or from Bassa. We know that we are going for runner-up. And when we get to the runner-up, Councilor Gongloe, because the people respect him, it will be easier for Bwaka to say, Unity Party, we will throw our weight behind Councilor Gongloe. Cummings will say, ANC will throw our weight behind Gongloe. But take Gongloe from there and put Bwaka there. ANC will go one way. They will say, everybody can vote for who you like. At the result, the ANC people will spread out. They will vote for, some people will vote for George Weah, some people will vote for Bwaka. And then Prince Johnson will take Nima and give it to George Weah. That makes George Weah president. Do you want George Weah to be president again? If you believe what I believe, that George Weah should be retired, then you better vote for Gongloe, because Gongloe is a medicine. He is the only chance we have. And not because he got the numbers, but because he's credible. All his colleagues, nobody. Listen, you know what I meant did to the law, the Liberian Bar Association? He met the Bar Association broke. Now it has hundreds of thousands of dollars in their account. This is a man who goes out on government trip. And when he's supposed to spend 14 days, he spends 6 to 7 days and bring the bottom money and give it to the Ministry of Finance and say, I didn't spend the money because I didn't stay this time. You think Joy Weah could have done it? Joy Weah, I beg you, you get Joy Weah 14-day money, you will take 17-day money. You will take more. All right. Let me see, my man. Let me see how many of people here before we go to Grand Gedeh. I want to my man Ishmael Kamara says Histoire, right? C'est ça, c'est Histoire. Merci beaucoup. And my man Leland Cooper is a strong sedition. And he is saying that Gongloe will win. Lee, if you fool me, I come into your house. Yaga. If you fool me, Lee, I come into your house. But he is a sedition, and if you say that Gongloe will win, we appreciate that word. Whether you mean it or not, it means much to us. Cover W say, Gibson, can you deliver Grand Gedeh County to the Mr. Broom? Cover W, let me tell you something. I got more voice in Grand Gedeh than anybody can think. Even if Grand Gedeh will not be totally delivered to Gongloe, we will make sure that George Weah will struggle at the skin of his teeth to get a vote in Grand Gedeh. And the last time he go campaign there, the people voted for him almost 100%. We'll see whether he will not go there this time. George Weah don't give a fick about Grand Gedeh, and will tell our people how he doesn't give a fick about Grand Gedeh. Let me go to my man, this man, Sylvester Leah says, this thing will hold Councillor Gongloe all the way to 2023. Hey, Gideon, come on. Abraham Cooper, okay, now I'm not reading that comment. And Lila Cooper said Gongloe is who we want. Please, don't animate my Mamel. And Julius Banto, the man who was once a strong sedition, a mouthpiece for sedition in the East. The man now says he's for Gongloe. And he and I had a talk at a Boston District Convention. He says, there is any call number, I will put a call number through. I will put a call number through in a little bit. And let me go to this man called Global Johnson. Say, y'all go protest again. Protest? I will protest with our mouth and we'll make it uneasy for these people. No, we're not violent people. Gongloe is not violent people. So he always telling people, everything you do, make sure no violence. Samuel Williams say Cummings will pick up Gongloe for vice president. God forbid. That's a flag. My man, in fact, we don't discuss that because at a party to party we discuss that. So if the party that Gongloe on the 15th, he will become standard bearer on the 15th of this month. If he becomes standard bearer on the 15th of this month, and the Liberian People Party says we want to be the second in command, and Cummings will be first in command, well, Gongloe will have no choice. It's party decision. It's called collaborative decision. So he doesn't have a problem with that. But we don't discuss that as an individual. Emmanuel Kwasi Smith, I thought you were promoting CDC again. You cross over now? Okay. So the question keep coming. Forget about it, my brother. I'm not sedition. I'm Gongloe. So let me say wise man changes. All right. You say your own thing and you answer it. Thank you very much. This man, Samuel Williams, said when Ure was managing director, Freeport was less expensive and well managed. What? Who Ure? Which Ure? His sister? Biggie. Let me go down to this comment coming from James Massacre. Say, that's not true, my brother. Which, yes, I believe you are. Thank you responding to that Ure question, that Ure comment. Thank you very much. Not true. And James Massacre said that blaming lies. I don't know what that means, but let me go to Zion Boazizi. Say, good evening, Groove 106 FM, Groove FM TV family and all. I am a Liberian plumber, specialized in commercial. And look, my man, now you're going to do your advertisement. And Doric Paul says, you are fighting a losing battle, Gibson. Thank you very much. Julius Banto comes back. Please post their number. I will do that in a little bit. But let me go to Grand Gedeh. And James Massacre says, Gibson, you are a liar. All right. Thank you. James Massacre says, I said to you, you are a liar. Okay. You said that. Thank you very much. And are you young as I look at you? No, I'm not young. They not even in the time here. I'm very, very old. So don't even call me young man. And Siliki Kamara said, are you still supporting CDC? I don't know about that question. I'm supporting Gongloe. And this one comes from Honorable Kennedy Mulba Bala right here in Fago Mohair. In my view, consider Gongloe meant will make a very good president from the lectures I have been following from him. A Gibson in the cabinet orbit will be a scary moment.
I'll be assistant.
My whole office will be scary because I bring in so scary people. No, I hate that. I hate that when people make fun like this. Jibari Sherry said, even in the economic class, you can talk with your seatmate. I know, right? What more about first class? Watching from the U.S., Joe Merlenberg. I will bring you on, Joe. We'll talk about it. My man, Benin Bafo, another strong Grand Gedeh for Gongloe. He said lifestyle audits. A person was poor, but out of a sudden, he enters government, then he gets rich and building big houses. Thank you. Thank you very much for that good analysis. Thank you very much. Let me go, and I'll go to Grand Gedeh in a little bit. Let me go to this comment from Mike Kolokopa Sandy. I'm an old man there. Say, when did you change, Gibson Jeru? When you left CDC? Well, how is it a problem for some of you? How is my leaving or not leaving a problem for some of you? Let me go to this comment here. I like the challenge you are putting up to CDC. Oh, yes, my brother. We will make George Weah to fight for every vote that he gets in Grand Gedeh. It's exactly the same question I want to ask him. Akoi Bayu Ye. I don't know what Bayu. I hope Bagu Ye. Thank you very much. If I pronounce your name ugly, forgive me my words. As soon as CSA, how will you use Weah's political relationship with Prince Johnson to Gongloe's advantage? Oh, yes. First of all, Prince Johnson will not go to George Weah, will not ask Nimbayans to vote for George Weah when Gongloe is in the race. But when the first round is over and Gongloe, God forbid, is not in the runner-up, if Cummings is in the runner-up, Prince Johnson will turn Nima to George Weah. Because they respect him. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with them respecting their godfather. If Gongloe is not in the runner-up, and for any reason, Cummings is in the runners-up, Mr. Senator Prince Johnson will turn Nima County straight to George Weah. George Weah becomes president. If Joseph Boyka goes runners-up with George Weah, Prince Johnson will turn Nima straight to George Weah and George Weah becomes president. The only way Prince Johnson will not be able to turn the Nima County people to George Weah is when his son, Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, is in the runner-up with George Weah. George Weah will be retired. George Weah will be retired. Okay, let me see. Isaac Wallace say, Gongloe, good to go. All right, Isaac, thank you very much. All the way there in Monrovia. I do appreciate that. Let me go to Monrovia. And I don't know. I got to call my... I got to play your music and I'll go straight to Monrovia. Don't go to Grand Gedeh. Don't go anywhere. We got a little thing to say about Grand Gedeh today. Not too much. So don't go anywhere. We will make sure that we do exactly what you're here to do. Let me play some one Liberian music.
Easy kid. Fuck you, my man. You. I don't care if you take on slim, baby, just move your back. I don't care what they're talking about you tonight, just do what you do. Even do what you do, don't let nobody hold you down. Baby, me feel the things that you do.
I'm looking for
One's low, go down, baby. Break up, I won't go there, baby. One's low, go down, baby.
7, 8, 15, 24, 24. You listen to the same fan here. 088-0102-102, 0778-15-24-24. 0778-15-24-24. You can pull your call through now, and let's hear you tonight right here. I listen to the analysis from Mr. Gerald this evening on the program from the horses mob. Let's get to the phone and pick up our first caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Nia, where you call from?
Speak to Daniel Tuki from Tokyo.
Daniel, welcome to the platform. Let's hear you.
Yeah, everything that you do is all putting, but people can see it we gone. So we are just like somebody who give me water and then leave you moving.
Bluetooth mode.
So why do you even
Connected.
Thank you so much. 088-0102-102, 0778-15-24-24, 0778. You please press him. Good evening.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Your name and where you come from?
I'm Untitled Chapter. From Cllr.
Welcome, Untitled Chapter. I Cllr Bapa committed.
Yeah.
Let's hear you. Go ahead.
My brother, Lamena, eat plenty, drink plenty. Let me pump it up.
What about that?
This particular country is for CDC.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
So are you the one getting counted to CDC?
My brother, this country is for CDC. This is for CDC. I want to end the project. That is end the project.
All right.
Let it for the next year.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's pick up another question. Good evening. Tito Weah, are you there? You have to be audible. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, let me I won't buy online tonight.
He's online. Listening to you, my brother.
I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you.
And let me appreciate you for your program. And I think I followed you last year.
Get to the point, my brother.
This is called our four-year president. The main is the platform is called Gongloe. What is it?
Okay.
So this is what the president thought in the president but from 2000 it's that's coming. The top of the people. What is the people that want people? And start even now. Let's talk about Georgia. You want the politics
Yeah, politics is not started, you know.
I agree.
Okay.
Politics is not started. I agree.
Thank you, Tito. Let's pick up another question. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Nia, where you come from?
My name is Moses Weah, and I do join you from Azul, which resident.
Moses Weah, welcome. Let's hear you.
Let me say a very big thank you to your studio guest. And let me just tell you one thing. Why we simply sitting here tonight? We are all things that have to lay our focus to be benefit in our country.
Okay.
But what I want you to do, let me be able to acknowledge in Kennedy right now that George Weah is not doing anything for Grand Gedeh. So what I want you to do Let's start making from Grand Gedeh that will convince them so that they can be able to ask several 2023.
Okay.
I think it should be formation relating to a chief patron. Then I think he will do something well because right now we as Grand Gedeh we believe in what you can do.
Okay. But now what you will do?
What you can do for us, that one will encourage us people to carry on. Nobody can tell me they cut it for CDC.
I wonder the guy can hear me when I talk.
Thank you ever so much. Good evening.
The guy can hear me.
I'm doing good. Your name, where you come from?
Yes, I'm Eva Newey for the community.
Welcome. Let's hear you, Eva.
Yeah. Thank you, there. Yeah, you know that man has been there. All because all is out there.
Okay. 0880212 So this question, good evening.
Yeah.
Where you call from?
I'm Samuel Being community for
Welcome, Samuel. Let's hear you.
All right. I would like to appreciate the skill getting speaking from the intellectual America.
Oh, you want to come out?
I just want to know the panel Cllr section coming from. Okay, now it's not question. But after all, you will be focusing on section that is happening. Delegate young fellow in why Cllr?
Okay.
I'm to appreciate his step, all of his steps from yesterday and today as they're monitoring. All right. There are other people that are saying that this content belongs to CDC. Yes. I will speak to you. My name is Samuel Peterson. I chair for CDC.
Okay.
We are coming to Grand Gedeh content. The man you saw with the farm side on his head there. And the people that you go to is who's speaking tonight. Okay, we are being suffering as a young people for George Weah led government to change. One of the legacy George Weah has been standing for the young stock of this country. And certain things he said in his speech, he said, we are first of all elected for the very first time.
Okay.
And we've seen our movement, our taking to take in Nigeria or entire Liberia. They will make full intent to election for the second time. That will be a very tough time for the citizens of this country. Yes, some people will get bad and die in the street. It's actually true. We have our brother law that saying that radical corruption is acceptable in our country, for which we built a team that called Corruption Battle, which is a lot of communities that go against corruption. Our brother was here as the magistrate, after the governor. The man said as the one clean and fair magistrate, acting magistrate, and for which he conducted the election free and fairly. Now people come about because they went to the need to corrupt the two forms. So of the sort which is a malice will. Because of that, after the government did not accept that identical brand. Today where it's after government. And after government have been kidnapped. The president of the state, which is what is the thing?
All right. Thank you so much. That hold you there and pick up another person. Good evening. Nia, where you call from?
I'm doing for the Baptist community.
That's Baptist community.
Yeah, Baptist is fun.
Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to take the show best. I leave the definition, exposition is down so clear.
Okay.
But one statement he made, I found it.
What is the statement?
It actually says it's a statement for Grand Gedeh, and he declared that Grand Gedeh cannot be the president. While we declared that we Grand Gedeh is now part of Liberia that he cannot be the president. What is the position or what is it for which he made that statement?
Which statement that Grand Gedeh can produce president?
Yeah, he said Grand Gedeh and the Mandingo, he cannot produce president.
Okay.
Okay.
You will make clarity on that. Thank you so much. Cool. Another person, good evening.
Yeah, what is very important.
Nia, where you call from?
Yeah, I'm doing
Welcome. Let's hear you.
brother. Yes, Bristol.
Bristol. Where you come from?
I'm calling from Cummings.
Welcome. Let's hear you.
Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate how you have said. I'm standing up for the president. I was president of the country. I'm saying that the whole thing. You should have went first before you had to do something for the country. For him saying that, the physician will agree. I mean, the physician will agree. It's not that you have want to bring a candidate contest, then to be the president of the country.
Okay.
Yeah. We all know what we are doing for the country. The first thing is that for the party. It doesn't say that for the party. Even in the country, it's absolutely not extend me out to go for the year will give the country to the president. But what you are saying, we know what the president is doing for us in the country.
What is it? What is it? Name one.
So much, President. Good evening.
Yeah, this is Ibrahim.
Nia, where you come from?
Ramsey calling from Florida.
Ramsey?
Yes, Paul.
Oh, Paul Ramsey, welcome. The year BC.
Comments that came to him told him that he's a civilian. I'm coming back home.
Oh, they coming back?
Yes, the civilian. But look at all those he gathered.
Okay, thank you so much.
And we'll be happy to receive it.
Okay, thank you, Paul. To this president, good evening. Nia, where you come from? Mohammed, how to be audible? Let's hear you.
Yeah, my friend, the folks saying that you don't like, you want to start from, what is that? Our in the Grand local.
Okay.
In your hand, you don't like, you want to start from it. Gongloe is Gongloe. What Gongloe have done for the country before somebody in the country.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that Gongloe that did that one. Okay. You don't have to nothing to on here. It is the actual picture of here. When people, it never come down to start to prove for my country.
Okay.
So we see now what they say, why don't we do for us? Look at Grand Gedeh,
why are you there for you?
But look at Grand Gedeh today, it's ready today. They say I'm proper than nothing, they will to put more on Google.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Paul?
Good evening.
Hi, Nia, where you come from?
That is number. I join you to the camera.
That is welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah. So I want to appreciate our studio guy tonight. For the way he talked, he was not really moderate. Yeah, the president was not really for the president to win that was not able to do all due to Kennedy and supporting the men of president. Yeah. So
thank you.
That is, people is not many of them. That is, they rule there, that is, they all choose for all here. And that is, see, make up here, just market, just record my policy. We rule here, and it's locally by the to be to 10, 12 years.
Okay.
Thank
you. That is Shaka Zulu. Welcome. We lost in 0880-102-102, 778-15-24. This person, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, brother.
Nia, where you come from?
Yeah, it's Ibrahim. So,
Ibrahim, welcome.
Yeah. That's what I need to do there. It's not giving the truth.
Don't go that route. Watch it up, please. Don't go that route. 0880-102-102. We pick up a call or two, and then we'll get back. Mr. Zulu, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for the show, Abraham. Grand Gedeh County is never like the fool. That's what I want give Sinjeri to understand. We have the Fulad, Mandingos. We have different nationality and more. It's not like when he used to be here, so you should understand what you're talking about. In Grand Gedeh at large, because there are a lot of lobbies doing monetary time, and everyone will serve, in that government, and not make those changes, and he cannot make that now. You understand? So I think I'm getting Jeru and the folks in America need to understand that, politics is not like how they sit in it, but they have to understand the constraint their people going through for road connectivity and other stuff in the country before you denigrate a leader.
Right.
So I think any man of brother of Grand Gedeh should be able to be wise, to know how to make his statement and make decisions towards the 2023 election.
Thank you so much, Mr. Zulu. 088010212. Let's pick up a corner and then we'll get back to Mr. Zulu. 08801021277881524 are the numbers to put you through right here on the program. So let's see whether we can pick up this sort of idea. Good evening.
Yeah, good, bro.
Nia, where you come from?
I think they don't keep part of the help of people. I want to tell you, Grand Gedeh, I was now over to someone here that we are one to do our Grand Gedeh. All
right, thank you so much. Thank you. So we were ordered there. We were ordered there and get back to Mr. Darren.
Disconnected.
Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, you want me to go turn it off and go by the video?
No, just continue. You much better.
Okay. All right then. Okay, so let me address some of the concerns that people have. Some of the people said I talked to George. We are very harsh. I don't know what they call harsh. I would talk to George. We are much harsher than I'm doing now. If this man does not give a damn about us, about things that I even care about him. But no, I'm not saying anything harsh yet. I will not say the man, the people say Ibobo. I'm not quoting myself, I'm quoting other people. But I will say it sometime. Listen, let me tell people, those of you in Grand Gedeh who are listening, there are some of you who will never change. In fact, there was a time when I was going to school, we were a group of boys. We used to sleep in a Radical market. We were all going to school. I think about 18 of us. And only 2 of us were able to graduate from high school. The other people did not care. They were satisfied with the life we were living. We sleep in the market ground. We go to our people there in the morning, take by and go to school, come back, go sell Kuwait, go sell boy, go sell cow skin and stuff like that. We were doing it. Our other boys, our other friends were complacent. They were happy to where they were, while some of us were trying to target the biggest thing for us. We're aiming higher and higher and higher. And today, some of us are all the way up here, and they are still there. I went to Liberia recently, and I saw one of my old friends. He old now too like myself. And I saw the Shushan ball, the Shushan box with him. I said, hey man, Tape, you still shining shoe back. The guy said, my man, it's not easy. And I took $20 and gave it to him. And I put my foot on the Shushan box, and he shined my shoe. I fell for him. But at the time we were going to school, Tape refused to go to school. We all used to go to school and come and sleep in the market. When the poor finish doing the market, we sleep. Then in the morning, we go to our relative and we go and take back and eat. If we get food, me, I never have food most of the time. So we used to go and sell the people cow skin, kuwe, boy, pifo, how do you call it there, pork. Some of you know this thing I'm talking about. And we're going to school. Some of you who are sedition will never change, will never see the bad things that is happening around you. You will always be what you are. You will never hope for the better in your life. So I'm not talking about those of you who will never hope to increase your lifestyle, to increase your life, to increase your living standard. You will never wish for it. You will always hope on George Weah. And George Weah will never do anything for you. You will always be like that. This man hate us. This man hate the family of our former president. This man is treating the family of our former president, our darling president. The man is treating them like they are animals. And you are sitting there and talking about, I talk to the man harsh. Are you kidding? What he's doing to John Doe and Nasser Doe is compared to what I'm saying here. This man is treating Nasser Doe like nobody. Nasser Doe won $18 million. He produced a lawyer. He told his justice ministry to go and argue so Nasser Doe can lose that case. If Nasser Doe did not have a lawyer, good lawyer, she would have lost that case. And after she won that case, the man are not giving $5 to her. This woman does not have money. She has money, she has property, but they are in George Weah in, and he's not releasing them. And you're talking about talk harsh to George Weah. Some of you will remain like that. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who got brains in their skull and they can think positively. Those are the people I'm talking about. I'm talking about Grand Gedehs who know better for themselves. I'm talking about Grand Gedehs who know that they are getting nothing out of George Weah. That's the Grand Gedeh I'm talking about. I'm not talking to some of you who will always be the way you are, and I will come to Liberia, I will meet you like that, and after 10 years, you will still be the same way. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the good Grand Gedehs who will do those things that are necessary to uplift their life. You talking to George Weah harsh? What he did to John Doe, is that something that somebody can do to another human being and you call him your son? You see how the man treat John Doe? They may have criminals in a government, people who call him names, people who insulted him, people who ran campaign against him. He got them in his government because John Doe supported Joseph Boakai. He dismissed John Doe, so John Doe cannot get money to support a man. Then the money the mother won, he refused to give it to the woman. The woman property, he and his advisor, Archibald Bonner, they are sitting on the property, and Nasser Doe is suffering, John Doe suffering, and you come here and say, I talk harsh to George Weah. I haven't touched harsh to George Weah yet. Maybe I'll do it sometime. I'll do it yet. Some of you not even get shame. You can't tell about I talk harsh to George Weah. Someone who said, I didn't talk to Grand Gedeh good when I said Grand Gedeh cannot produce a president. It means that person don't understand politics. So I will take my time to explain to the president what it means when they say the president, the country cannot produce a president. You see the reason why those who are contesting for election, they campaigning in Moserado, they campaigning in Nima, they campaigning in Basso, they campaigning in Lofa, because the number of people who register to vote are many. If they vote for you, there's a possibility of you winning the election. In Grand Gedeh, how many of our people can register to vote? The last election that took place, the number of people that voted from our village, they are not even 10 people. The number of people that voted from our village. Most of our people don't register to vote during election time. Our people do not mobilize, our old people, our young people, they don't register to vote. As a result, even though Grand Gedeh got a lot of people in the country, but we got a small number of people, 68,000 people. 68,000 cannot produce a president. That is why George Weah cannot come to Grand Gedeh to campaign. He never came there to campaign because he's not important. He does not think that Grand Gedeh is important. He will never come to campaign in Grand Gedeh because Grand Gedeh cannot produce a president. Now, we talk about Mandingo people. Can Mandingo people produce president? The Mandingo president, El Mohammed Sherry, contested for election. All the Mandingo people voted for him. He stayed on counter. He came number 7. Aji Kroma, the man who said he fought for the Mandingo people, the hero for the Mandingo people, he was contesting for presidency. All the Mandingo people voted for him. They make him number 10. They can't produce the Crown people and the Mandingo people, even if they vote for everybody, when all of them vote for one person, they cannot produce a president. That is what I mean that Grand Gedeh cannot produce a president. It's just an addition of the number. So when they counting votes, then they count Grand Gedeh, Grand Gedeh, 10%, Grand Crew, 20%, or something like that. Then they count Grand Crew, Grand Gedeh, Sino, Maryland. All of you over there, you cannot produce a president by yourself. Nima County, this is why Nima County is very important. Because the people in Nima understand what voting means. I got some relatives in Zulu right there. I called some of them before. I asked them, did you vote? The other day, me, I vote. I'll lead the voting. My own relatives and some of them don't even vote. Some of them don't even vote. I know many of you in Zulu today, I'm talking to you, never voted. The reason you never voted because you didn't register to vote, and some of you even registered and still did not vote. So 68,000 people cannot vote. Nima County got 425,000 people that are going to cast the ballot, and you're talking about 68,000 people. 425,000 people are able to vote and make a president. Then Grand Gedeh, 68,000 people. You put it there, ain't nothing. You take 68,000 from Nima, Nima will be left. Plenty will be left. So Grand Gedeh does not produce president. But what we do, we add to people's number. So when they're counting, they put us there too. So if you want to produce president, you need, and that is what we want to do. We want to go from villages to villages, put our people in the car, take them to register them, and the time for election, take them back to go and vote. Because most of the people, we don't have roads. I don't even know why they make the election business in the rainy season. Because rainy season time, Grand Gedeh is cut off. Nobody get car, nobody get jeep to go and collect people to go carry them to Zwedu or to tow them to vote. Or to Zaitan to vote. So the roads are bad. And George Weah enjoy it that way because he want to keep you in mediocrity. He want to keep you that way. Because once you not face the road be like, you always suffer. This man who say he love us, the man started the road, he started building road beyond us. Well, who are we? Are we animals? And you sit down there, you call yourself, you say, I'm sedition. I'm a sedition. I will make George Weah president. This man built road beyond you. He built roads beyond you. He building roads beyond you. He building road to go to a town, Grand Cru. Building roads to go to Sando, to go to ITI. He building roads on that side. Why he can't build in Grand Gedeh? Why he can't start from Todan to go to Zwedu? Or he can't even start from Zaita and come to Zwedu? Because he don't give a damn about us. I told you we'll discuss more things about the way George Weah hate Grand Gedeh. This man does not like to see the ground we are working on. He hates us so much, and he's a deceitful man. He's very ungrateful. He doesn't care about us. That's why when he ready to deal with Nesido, he wants Nesido to die in poverty. When Nesido property are there, she can use them and be able to live a better life. The man advisor in his office. And George Weah said, they are sitting on Nesido money, they're sitting on Nesido property, and Nesido suffering in that Morovia there. And you can't talk about George Weah. Are you not even ashamed to mention George Weah's name? Are you not even ashamed to mention George Weah's name? We'll talk next week, Friday and Saturday. One more thing before I leave. Somebody say we put more on Google people. Ah, God. Somebody say I put more on Google people. Hey, God. Who are the Google people I put more on? Because George Weah president, so are the Google man. If the man didn't care about me, why should I care about him? The other one I want to talk about before I end is Gongloe served, that was Shaka Zulu, right? I think Shaka Zulu is the one. He the one said Gongloe served in alien government and he did not make changes. When some of you are talking, it just tells me that the man is not even informed about how government operates. That's how we need to educate people more. I think Shaka Zulu is a mission. I mean, it's a mission fee that we can help to educate him so he can understand how government operates. The man was Solicitor General. He was Solicitor General. He did his work very beautifully. And he was promoted to the Minister of Labor. When the man entered the Minister of Labor, he is the one that made the Lebanese people today. They are paying $1,000. Before then, Lebanese people used to go and bring Lebanese from their brother from Lebanon. That will be cook, that will be off store-bought and everything. Gongloe said, no, we can't allow aliens to go and bring their relative and do the job that Liberian can do. So if you bring the people, you pay $1,000, but because when they can pay the $1,000, therefore they have to employ Liberians. Today, like more Liberians are employed with Lebanese and Indians and other businesses than before. Before they used to pay $150. So you bring 5 people, you can pay $150, yeah, just like that, $150 for each. Now you got to pay $1,000 to be able to bring somebody from Lebanon to be a cook. You don't want to do that. So you rather employ a Liberian to be a cook or to be your store boy than to go bring another Lebanese to pay 1,000 for them. So how does Gongloe going to make changes in Ellen government? The man in the first year, the man got mad with Ellen because Ellen was running the government wrongly and he resigned. He said, no, I can't be part of your government. The man went on radio station and said, I cannot be part of Ellen government because it has missed the reason why we came into power. She is not doing the right thing. The first year, the man spent 8 months in government and resigned. What kind of human being have ever done in Liberia? How many ministers in Liberia spent 8 years in the government as a minister proper and resigned because the president is not doing the right thing? You can name one? That is what we are talking about. The man got character. The man is able to tell you what you are doing is wrong. He look at president and say, what you are doing is wrong. I'm not going to serve in your government. And he resigned. Even the woman tried to offer him another ministry, the man still refused. And he's talking about what? How the man will make changes, Shaka Zulu? You all the intellectuals in Israel, right? When they talk about intellectuals in Israel, like Shaka Zulu, then they look up to them because every talk show they call, it's called Shaka Zulu talking. Then you're talking about the man will make changes in government. How you make changes in government? The man resigned the first 8 months because the government was running badly. How do you expect the man to make changes? So I will stop here for tonight. And for those of you, I thank you for those of you who are coming. I know some of my fans are coming back. Yesterday, the view were not many. Today is getting a little bit. And I think those who know now that I'm going to be on, they are coming back little by little. And we could discuss more. And I will tell you more about George Weah. I don't even start talking here. Y'all in Grand Gedeh, you're sitting there and say, George Weah, our president, that he the one Grand Gedeh for George Weah. Who told you that? If you sold your soul to George Weah, we are not selling our soul to George Weah. If George Weah, I don't want to say that. If you sell your soul to George Weah, those of us who are Grand Gedehians, proper Grand Gedehians, we did not sell our soul to George Weah. And George Weah will not be president. We will do everything in our power to remove him from presidency because the man is corrupt. This is a man who does not talk when people die in the street. People are killing people all over the place. The man can't say anything. He just sit down. People just killing people. They kill the other person. They by the auditors. 4 of them died. George Weah made one statement. Then you're talking about the man a good president. The man who deployed Mageda as a brain. He ain't got no brain for himself. When Mageda said nothing, he said nothing. Look at up to this time. Mageda still enjoying government opportunities. George Weah, when Gongloe goes one-on-one with George Weah is finished. Gongloe is the best that we have right now. And somebody said, I'm on either talk about Gongloe, I'm not talking about George Weah. I talked about Gongloe from the beginning of the show. I took almost 1 hour to talk about why make Gongloe the best. So I can't talk about George Weah. Oh, because George Weah, you sold your soul to George Weah. Can't talk about Grand Gedeh for George Weah. Grand Gedeh is not for George Weah. The Crown people, we voted for him because we thought the man will love us as we love him. They may hate us more than Ellen hated us. To the point that they may will suffer Samuel Doe widow. Nasedo, to the point that they may will suffer Nasedo. How many of you were married? How many of you, if Nasedo was your mother, Nasedo is your sister, what the man doing to Nasedo? How many of you will take it? The woman get money, you sit on it. The woman get property, you sit on it. And the woman looking for money to eat. Then you sack the woman only son that was working to help her. Then you can talk about George Weah, that Grand Gedeh son. I will stop here tonight and I'll say thank you for those of you who are listening everywhere. And that's when I hear people talk like that, it brings out the best out of me. So I like to hear them. And the only thing don't cost. You can come and criticize me any way you want to criticize me. We'll take it. But if you start cursing, then maybe Abraham will not let you. The other making and try to curse me and then moving from there. For me, I don't care. You can curse me, I don't care. Because I know I'm going to respond in a better way that you understand. Those of you who sold your soul to George Weah, don't tell us that Grand Gedeh is for George Weah. If you sold your soul to George Weah, don't tell Grand Gedeh that the Grand Gedeh is for George Weah. Grand Gedeh voted for George Weah and thought that he was going to be a good man to them. They may go and build roads in other counties beyond Grand Gedeh. Building roads everywhere beyond Grand Gedeh. Only Grand Gedeh will never get a road. Even from all the way beyond from Sanosa, you will never build one road. They may building road all over. He leave you beyond. He get time for you. They kind of Grand Gedeh for George Weah. They may hate us so much more than Ellen has ever hated us. I think Ellen was better because Ellen time in Bloomtown, Ellen built a school in Bloomtown. Even though I still hated Ellen, the woman built a school in Bloomtown. That's how far the woman went. In the villages, the woman was building schools. Some of you know, some of your villages, the schools that Ellen government built in your villages. Has Joshua ever come to Grand Gedeh and even give your father that? Then you come to Grand Gedeh for George Weah. No, Grand Gedeh is not for George Weah. Those of you who sold your soul to him, he own you, but he not own us. Thank you very much, and let's meet again next week. I'll play your music now, and we'll say bye to you. If you don't hear my voice, it's only music that will play.
Yeah. Unega above Areva money finit go your 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 money finit go